Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. As you can see from Boris' magnificent mustache, we're here with the Empire once again, going to be facing off against the Beastmen. I've been on a little bit of an Empire kick lately, so you guys may see a bit more of them spliced in. They are one of my favorite factions right now. Some of the changes they got in the recent patches made them a little bit more competitive, I think, and I'm having a lot of fun playing them, kind of learning the new meta and trying to figure things out. So let's go ahead and take a look at the build. As you can see from this Vanguard force, I do have 4 Pistoliers, so this is a unit that I often kind of criticize as not being terribly good for their cost. I mean, you consider they have less range and worse combat stats than something like Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, which are 150 points less expensive. However, they do play a role for the Empire. They're decent troops overall, and yeah, they can definitely help in certain situations. One of the factions I do think that Pistoliers can play a role is against the Beastmen. Obviously, they have a lot of low armor targets, so you're not going to really need the armor piercing of Outriders, which I think are one of the best units on the Empire roster right now. In this particular matchup, you can probably cheap out and get away with going with the Pistoliers here. We've also got Toddbringer, of course, with the Midland Runefang and Crush the Weak. He's also got the White Cloak of Ulrich for that additional area effect debuff. We've also got an Amber Wizard, so since Boris has self-healing, I figured we could invest in an Amber Wizard here. He's got Fear and Terror, of course, up on the Griffin. He's got Blood Roar, all that jazz. Wiston's Wild Form and Flock of Doom are going to be the spell choices for this guy. Flock of Doom is obviously going to be great at dealing direct damage to things like Bestigor, and Wiston's Wild Form is just a nice buff to throw on state troops, himself, you know, various targets. 30 armor and 25% weapon damage is applicable in almost any fight, so it's a very useful, nice little cheap buff there. For infantry, as you guys are probably familiar with, we've got a whole mess of state troops. 4 spearmen, 3 swordsmen, one of them being the Sigmar Sons. In the center, we've got 2 Free Company Militia, which are another unit that I'm a big fan of, particularly against the Beastmen. The low armor and high volume of fire of 90 unit models means these guys can dish out some serious damage to low armor targets. And yeah, they do have relatively short range, but they're decent in melee as well. Just kind of a nice, you know, hybridized unit. We've also got the Zintler's Reichsguard and another unit of Reichsguard over on the side. Reichsguard are the kind of epitome of the Empire. They're good at in most situations. They're going to be useful. You know, they're good at, you know, kind of sustained combat. They're decent shock cavalry. They're decent at cav-on-cav engagements. You know, they're decent against armored infantry. They're really good against light armored infantry. But they're just kind of a cavalry unit that will, it won't shine in any one situation, but it'll perform well enough in most situations, which is kind of the, you know, one could say the role of the Empire. They're great. They're not the best at any one thing, but they're good enough at almost everything that they can pretty much take just about every army to task, because, you know, they can do just about anything you ask them to. So let's go ahead and take a look at my opponent's build. He's got lots of Vanguard troops around, as, you know, Beastmen are very strong at doing. He's got Centaurs with great weapons and Hounds over on this side, and the Mirror out on this side, I believe. Yep, some more Centaurs with Hounds. Believe these are Poison Hounds. Yep, understandable. These guys are going to be very formidable in tandem against things like the Reichsguard, for example. That heavy AP and the Poison will allow them to perform very well here. A couple of more mobile units here. We've got another Chaos Poison Warhound and another Centaur with great weapon here. For infantry, he's got 2 Bestigor with 4 Goreherds with shields. Pretty strong infantry line. Goreherds with shields will perform well enough. Bestigor Herd will pretty much take any Empire infantry to task, even great swords, so a very strong pick. Definitely like that. For his heroic units, he's got a Gorbel, which, you know, the more I play with Gorbel, the less stoked I am about him, just because of the issue he has about getting tossed around. It makes it really rough to try and use him. He does have some nice buffs. That Slaughterer's Call is really nice, as well as Blood Greed on himself, of course. He did take Deadly Onslaught as well. He's got Morgar the Shadowgave as his general, and a Brave Shaman Lore of Wild with just the Savage Dominion. So just the Cygor summon, no Devolve or anything like that for once that is done. So let's go ahead and kick things into full gear and watch what happens. So we're going to begin a bit of a skirmish phase here as we get these Pistoliers just kind of riding through this open flat ground here. My my goal is to try and, much as you guys saw me play with the High Elves the other day, is to try and isolate units and just quickly terror bomb them with the Amber Wizard here. If we use Flock of Doom in tandem with some quick rear charges, even with the Pistoliers themselves, even though they're not great in melee, they can still inflict that attack in the rear penalty. So depending on the situation, we could potentially get some really nice damage done and take a couple of these units off the field. We've got this kind of lone Bestigor herd with shield kind of screening out here in this position. Because he's kind of isolated, we're going to be able to kind of do a little bit of an envelop here with these Pistoliers and get some really nice shots. Of course, the Gore Herds are a decently expensive unit at 500 points, 550 I believe. They may have got changed, I don't quite remember, but they're reasonably expensive, and the Outriders are going to be able to get some really nice value here shooting into these unarmored targets. Granted, they do have that missile block chance, but you can see we've dropped down the Amber Wizard into combat here with these Hounds, since they were going to be able to catch my Pistoliers. Anyway, I figured there's nothing I can do except try and drop this guy in. We drop a Flock of Doom as well, and I'm hoping that this is enough to terrify away the Hounds, which it is, and it's also going to be enough to do quite a bit of damage to these Centaurs with great weapons as well. So all things considered, even though I did lose some Pistoliers in that engagement, I would say I definitely came out in the positive there. You can see the Cygor has been summoned up. He's going to be tossing rocks at my Zintler's Reichsguard, which is a very good target. I was trying to take them over the back side of the hill, but I didn't quite bring them far enough. I probably need to put them about right here. It's going to make them a lot less susceptible to taking that artillery file, but where they are going to take some shots, which is unfortunate. They are a very expensive unit, of course, but yeah, you can see we're also able to get on this Gore Herd with shields here with the Pistoliers and with the Amber Wizard, just kind of take it off the field, just do the terror damage and just inflict a ton of shots. Of course, since they're running away, they're faced in the other direction, which means all these shots are not going to be subject to that missile block chance from the shield they carry. So yeah, that Gore Herd with shield is pretty much done for. And yeah, we'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit as there's a bit more of a skirmish phase that unfolds. You can see my opponent committing very heavily here with plenty of Centaurs with great weapons. This is a little bit dangerous here. I'm going to have to be very careful about trying to drop a terror bomb into this situation. But, you know, as you can see, there is this other Gore Herd with shield out here that we may be able to kind of pull away. So this is a tactic that I highly recommend, especially if you have skirmish cav superiority. You kind of just poke away at your opponent. If they have artillery and they're just sitting back, you know, you can kind of try and pick away and isolate various units, you know, as much as possible to just try and take them off the battlefield. You can see very nice shots, though, on those Zintler's Reichsguard, down to 24 unit models, so they lost, you know, a little less than half their number, but still pretty rough. You can see this Gore Herd, though, now that it's isolated, is going to be taking this Pistolier fire from many directions here. You can see these guys are riding around with their cool golden helmets, dual-wielding pistols. They're very cool units, don't get me wrong. Unfortunately, they're just really garbage in melee, which is their main drawback, honestly. If they had a little bit longer range and if they were better in melee, I'd say Pistoliers are a pretty solid unit overall. But considering the role they play for the Empire, you know, they're a little bit cheaper than Outriders. They're good against low armor targets. You know, they do have that 360-degree firing as well. So, you know, they're an all-right unit. Probably not as bad as I sometimes make them out to be. But you can see the main line engagement is going to be getting underway here as the Bestigor charge down the hill at my state troops. Since we're in range here, ooh, it was a nasty shot on those Free Company militia there from that Cygor. But yeah, Bestigor are going to be charging in here. Of course, Spearmen at Arms will lose this fight. But since they have 42 melee defense, I'm just hoping that they can hold for some time. Again, the Spearmen holding the line here as we get a counter charge now with the Sigmar Sons and the other swordsmen. Boris coming down into this fight immediately, just trying to drop in the terror and do some shock damage to try and terrify these units as quickly as possible. We are also going to swing this Reichsguard out to help deal with this Centaur with great weapons, which looks like unfortunately did just drop its attack order. My opponent doing very well, getting these Poison Warhounds onto this unit of Free Company militia, destroying enough of them that they're not going to be coming back to the battle, and then running away from the Reichsguard that I'm trying to bring in for support here. We did get a little bit of engagement over here with the Pistoliers bringing in melee against the Centaurs. I didn't have too much of a choice. I just wanted to try and get rid of the Centaurs as quickly as possible, and the terror from the Amber Wizard is going to allow us to do just that. Fortunately, I have taken some pretty severe damage on the Pistoliers. You can see the balance of power is not in my favor at this point as the infantry fight starts to sour against me. The Spearmen at Arms with shields, although they do have good melee defense, I mean, obviously they're still going to lose this fight. So it is very unfortunate. The Sigmar Sons and even the Swordsmen as well will just get crushed by Bestigor and so on. But yeah, you can see we're able to kind of clean up the periphery engagements. These Centaurs with great weapons got caught on the back hoof by my Reichsguard, and these Hounds as well being routed off by Boris and the Reichsguard here. So all things considered, we're doing fairly well. We're now going to bring in the Amber Wizard to start supporting in this melee engagement here, dropping that Flock of Doom, as well as just bringing him in for a nice rear charge onto these Bestigor here. The tattered Zintler's Reichsguard are also going to be charging in here. The Zintler's Reichsguard have excellent leadership, so they'll usually fight down to a man, and they are fabulous looking units as well. So yeah, they're going to be getting some nice work done. Another Wissen's Wild Form being dropped as well. I believe that's on the Reichsguard, bringing them up to 150 armor. Pretty solid weapon strength as well at 47. They're going to be charging in here to these Centaurs. The Amber Wizard taking a beating, but he's definitely getting some really nice work done. Boris has dropped down, unfortunately not quite in time to interrupt this Brave Shaman from casting another Cygor summon. So he has been able to get both those Cygor summons, which is pretty solid value overall. Thankfully for me, I don't have any too many units of expensive infantry, which is what the Cygor is really going to excel at killing. You can see we're able to wrap up this Gore herd here, and the pre-company get a nice side position here to shoot into the side of this engagement where Morger is. Gorbel's not going to like that, so he's going to charge over here and try and give these Free Company the business. Probably get a nice charge. Oh man, that Free Company went to kick him in the head and just got splattered. Oh, that was brutal. But yeah, more Reichsguard going to be coming around for a beautiful charge into these Bestigor here. My opponent doing a very good job, though, summoning up these Chaos Spawn right on top of these Reichsguard. We're going to drop in the Amber Wizard and Boris side by side here just to terrify with these Bestigor, leaving us to just kind of chip away at these Chaos Spawn. The Flock of Doom and everything, just trying to help speedy their passing as much as possible. We brought these regrouped Spearmen in as well. Reichsguard on the far side, the Zintler's Reichsguard, very tattered, chasing down some Bestigor herd, though, still making themselves very useful, despite only having a handful of unit models left. All things considered, though, things are starting to look kind of back in our favor. We have been able to isolate Morger here a little bit with Graf Todbringer here, and Todbringer is infamous, of course, for his feud with the Beastmen, so he's definitely going to be happy to administer a beatdown to Morger here. It's not Kazrak, unfortunately, but Morger will have to do for the time being. You can see Gorbel trying to come in for support, and he can definitely do some damage to Boris. Boris will be able to get some swings back, though, and kind of return the favor a little bit. I am attacking the Cygor with the Amber Wizard here. Done enough damage to help speed its passing, so now we're going to bring the Amber Wizard back down around and use the two Griffins to just kind of knock Gorbel around, since he does suffer from that issue of getting knocked over pretty frequently. We are going to use the Griffins to just kind of keep him off his feet as much as possible. You can see the Amber Wizard, though, is very, very low, so it's still a pretty dicey situation. The Reichsguard are coming in the clutch in the fourth quarter, though. This unit of standard Reichsguard here, very, very shiny armor, might I say, but they're going to be helping to clean up here. Centaur is going to be routed off, and yeah, Graf Todbringer will be able to finish off the Gorbel as well, and it is going to be a victory for the Empire. So very hard fought, well played to my opponent, but yeah, you can see the Beastmen forces are hitting army losses at this point. So yeah, well played. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that battle. I'm going to be bringing more Empire content in the near future. I'm really, really enjoying playing them right now, so definitely stay tuned for more of that if that's your thing. Todbringer, of course, did very well here, as well as the Amber Wizard. Just really nice terror bombs and armor-piercing damage. 76 kills between the Amber Wizard in melee and with the Flock of Doom as well. Very nice work done there. The Pistoliers also, 68 kills on Pistoliers is not too shabby. They definitely played a role in helping isolate some of those units early on and kind of gain an advantage where I was able to get a more favorable engagement. 108 kills on these Reichsguard. They were MVPs, definitely. State Troops also did very well for themselves. 61, 18, and 30 on the Sigmar Sons. They did get run over a little bit, but, definitely held the line, allowing the other units to get the work done. For my opponent, the kills pretty much where you would expect. Bestigor herd racking up quite a few kills. Unfortunately, just the Gorbel and the Centaurs with Great Weapons not able to deal with the two Griffins effectively, and that was ultimately the tail of the tape here. Just being able to get that perpetual terror and the blood roar and, the Flocks of Doom and everything from the Amber Wizard was really, really strong here. So, well played to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more Total War Warhammer 2 content every single day, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.